Alright, so I just finished the Berserk Golden Age arc Memorial Edition, and I have a lot of questions. Some have answers, but my main question is why? So before we dive into this discussion, let me just give you my little backstory with Berserk. I've never seen 97 anime. I started watching Berserk with the original Golden Age arc movie trilogy, and then I followed up and watched the first season of the Berserk anime that follows that, and I couldn't stomach. I tried starting the second season, but I just couldn't do the CGI. The Berserk CGI, especially in the anime, was awful. So I went into watching this blind. I didn't really look up much about it. I didn't even know that this came out 2 years. It's been 2 years. Like, I don't know if it's because Crunchyroll just never decided to show it to me, because now I see that it's on Crunchyroll. I actually watched it on Netflix with a VPN, but I guess I kind of understand why Crunchyroll didn't show it to me, because it's a very close adaptation to the movies. There's differences. I mean, it's better than the original trilogy. There's nothing missing from the original 3-movie trilogy. It's basically all improvements on it. But my main question with it being why is the whole first season following after that and second season were complete, like 95% CGI, and it's horrible. Like, it's not even pleasing to watch. Like, as much as I got into the Berserk storyline from the movies and how much it drew me in, knowing what it set up for, everything following it was just so, like, it's the CGI so like unfluid that it makes you not want to watch it. So my why is, why readapt with the minor adjustments the same movie trilogy that was just adapted 10-12 years ago, instead of A, redoing the first season with actual drawn animation as opposed to all CGI, B, continuing the anime of the third season and trying to, cut back on the CGI. Like, I know it's a budget thing, but it's just, there's a handful of shows, other action animes that like manage to do it without 100% CGI. It's okay. Like, don't get me wrong, Chainsaw Man has some CGI in it, but it's tastefully done. It's not 95% of the show. My other why is, why not include everything that's missing from the original adaptation? And I only say that because I'm not a manga reader, but now after watching the movies, the anime, which I guess we'll just never get a real, like, a good adaptation of the anime, it'll just be CGI. But now after watching the movies and the anime and the Memorial Edition, I'm pretty invested in the story, but I'm never gonna get like the visually pleasing anime that I'd like to see from it. Well, I mean, maybe one day. And it's crazy because Berserk is one of the top selling mangas of all time. How could it not get a decent adaptation? I understand budget was an issue and a concern with the 97 release of the anime. Also comes down to the studios that have the rights to the anime, I guess, and the rights to an adaptation. I guess they don't want to put up a huge budget behind this to have it animated the right way, which is crazy. Like, crazy. Let's talk about a few pros. The movie definitely does touch up, on the CGI. It makes it a little bit better, like the CGI that's actually in the movies, because the movies did still have like 40% CGI, especially for some of the fight scenes. So it definitely made the CGI a little bit more fluid for certain scenes. They touched up here and there on like retouching up their faces in a few scenes. You're not really gonna get a whole bunch of newly drawn scenes. The new scenes that were added were all CGI added scenes. Again, currently, watching budget, which is crazy after all this time. This anime has the potential, it has the story. It's crazy that they wouldn't just put forth the budget to get it animated the right way. But nonetheless, I haven't gone and watched the 97 release. I'm gonna go back and watch it now, especially considering that that's 25 episodes and the Memorial Edition is only 13. So there's definitely a lot more content that's there that's missed and cut out. But it's one of those shows that when you look at it, I mean, 90s aesthetic animes, you either hate it or you love it. I'm not against the art style or anything of it. It's just, it's one of those shows that looks a little like showing its age. With a VPN, the original anime is on Netflix, so I'll just watch it on there. The best thing would be to just pick up the manga. A pretty long ass manga series at this point, 42 volumes. But maybe that'll be, my next choice if I want to continue with the story, because it doesn't seem like we're gonna get what the manga deserves. At least it's a top selling manga. The story has to be a top selling manga for a reason. It's really a graphic story. I mean, that's the one thing. It's not a for kids anime, and even with all the scenes cut out that are missing from the anime, it still is pretty graphic. It's crazy. It's a tragedy. It's one of those tragedy stories. It's still better than the original movies because the few extra scenes that they added actually add to the story and give more backstory and understanding to like motives, people's dreams, what they want between some of the characters. So if you haven't watched Berserk yet, the Memorial Edition is a good start. Like I said, the problem is there's a lot left out from the manga. Like going online and looking into a lot of this, I found that there's a lot more missing, and even just watching the Memorial Edition made me understand there's a lot missing because one of the added scenes, this would be, I mean, it's spoilers. If you've watched this far into the video, you know it's spoilers, but one of the added scenes with Guts and Casca, it comes so random out of the blue, and when it happens you're like, oh wow, I guess that kind of explains a little bit about Guts, but like there's no context to even the backstory. He just has this flashback and starts talking about it like it's been spoken about in series up until then, like they spoke about it in the anime up until then. We don't know nothing about who that person even is in the backstory. It's just they give a flashback, and it's kind of like, okay, I guess it's added content, but maybe you should have added a little bit more to explain who the hell that character was, because I had to actually go search on Reddit to understand what the hell, like. But the bonfire scene and the bar scene with Guts and Judo does add, like I said, to motives, give you some more understanding, background. Guts' relationship with Casca kind of adds and builds to that instead of it just being so like spur of the moment out of nowhere the way it kind of happened in the original movie. It's like you don't really see anything about how she feels about him until like way later, so it definitely adds and builds into their relationship. But all the more to say, honestly, the Memorial Edition, the additions of the new content really just kind of make me hate Griffith more, like as a character. Like it just adds more to everybody else's story that Griffith just like I'm not gonna lie, Griffith is on the list of top 5 biggest ops. Like that's one evil motherfucker. That boy Femto, he is one evil bitch. Top 5 most evil op ass villains in anime, like for sure. He's up there. He is a fucking, all of that character building, all of the relationships he built with the whole band of Falcon, nothing. But nonetheless, bro, maybe it's time to just pick up the manga, start buying the volumes, and start reading it from there, because we'll never get a continuation of it drawn this good as we did in the movies in this anime. Like it'll just be CGI from here, and it's crazy because the movies in the Memorial Edition, the anime, the 2D and the actually animated drawn scenes are drawn so good. The animation is so good. Berserk has its own, almost its own specific art style, because like it still comes from like that 90s aesthetic. In the movies it evolved almost. It's its own art style, but it's crisp in the movies and in the Memorial Edition. I would love to see even just 12 episodes that follow the Memorial Edition, like what happens right after that next arc. I would love to see it drawn and animated with the same animator of the movies in Memorial Edition. Like, I mean, you know, Memorial Edition is taking majority of the scenes from the movies and touching it up, but like that animator, come on man, just pay them to do a season, just one season. People will love that shit. Just one of those anime that falls into a tragic situation. Nonetheless, Berserk Golden Age arc Memorial Edition, I like the little improvements that it made over the movies. I also like it broken down into anime. I feel like it could have been longer than 13 episodes to include some more missing stuff, but if this is your first telling with Berserk, your first visit with Berserk is the Memorial Edition, I think it's a good start. But you might be screwed after that, because if you get that involved into the story, you got nothing but disappointment unless you want to pick up the manga. Just want to do a quick little video on Berserk as a whole. Like I said, I originally watched the movies years back on Netflix. It kind of sucks that we haven't got any good true continuation since then, and 10 years later we just get a retelling of the same movie. But if you like anime content, check back for some more of that. I'll have some game videos coming again soon too, but that's all I have for today, guys. I'll catch you guys next time.